Welcome, everybody, to our deep dive into aging. Well, maybe more like into why we might not have to age the way we think.
Interesting way to put it.
We're looking at David Sinclair's book, Lifespan.
Ah, yes. Why we age and why we don't have to.
Right. From 2019. He's a geneticist, right?
Yeah, he's been a leader in this whole aging research field for quite a while.
So no immortality quests here. This is about the science.
Absolutely.
It's like, what can we really change about aging and what's just, inevitable? Let's dig in.
It's funny how for so long, even the scientists who studied aging, like gerontologists,
Right.
they were all about treating the diseases that came with age, not the aging itself.
Yeah, like treating the symptoms instead of the root cause.
Exactly, like putting a Band-Aid on a broken bone, just trying to mask the pain.
Not fixing the break itself.
Exactly. It reminds me of how we approached cancer decades ago, just managing the symptoms instead of trying to understand the underlying mechanisms.
Makes you think.
So yeah, early aging theories, a lot of them focused on this wear and tear idea, like the mutation accumulation theory.
Which basically said
that aging happens because genetic mutations pile up over time.
So our DNA gets all messed up, like scratched as we get older.
Yeah, that was the idea. But then scientists managed to clone animals from older ones.
Yeah.
And the clones didn't age super fast like the theory predicted.
Oh, interesting.
So something else was going on, something more complicated.
Right. So was there another theory?
Oh yeah, there was the free radical theory, which was all about unpaired electrons causing damage inside our cells, especially to the mitochondria.
Our little cellular powerhouses.
Right. But, even that theory didn't really paint the whole picture.
So what else did they come up with?
Well, there was the disposable soma theory, which tied aging to this trade-off between reproduction and repair.
Meaning?
Like, our bodies invest more energy in passing on our genes than in keeping us in tip-top shape for the long haul.
Interesting. So, we're disposable after we've reproduced? Harsh.
Well, that's one way to look at it. But David Sinclair, he throws a whole new wrench into the works.
How so?
He sees aging not as wear and tear, but as information loss. He uses this thing called Shannon's information theory to explain it.
Okay, information theory. Now you've got me curious.
So imagine our bodies are like DVD players, and our DNA is the DVD. Over time, that DVD gets all scratched up, right?
Yeah, and it skips, and it freezes.
Exactly. It gets harder for the player to read the information correctly.
So aging is like a scratched DVD.
That's the idea. Our cells slowly lose the ability to access and interpret their own genetic information.
Wow. So they lose the instruction manual on how to function.
Perfect analogy. And this is where epigenetics comes in. It's not about changes to the DNA sequence itself, but how that DNA is expressed.
Ah, epigenetics, like the software running on the DNA hardware, right? It controls which genes are on or off.
Exactly. Think of a grand piano. Each gene is a key, and the music is the cell's activity. Epigenetics is like the pianist deciding which keys get played. You can have the same keys, the same genes, but very different music.
So our epigenome changes how our genes get used.
And as we age, that epigenome, it can get kind of messed up, less precise.
Leading to that loss of information we were talking about.
Right. But here's the good news.
Okay, I'm listening.
The epigenome is more flexible than our genes, so we might be able to tweak it,
To slow down aging, maybe even reverse it.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
And that's where Sinclair brings in these sirtuin genes. He calls them the guardians of youth. He spent a big chunk of his career trying to understand them.
Interesting. So tell me more about these sirtuins, these guardians. What do they do?
Well, they're like the maintenance crew for our epigenetic software. They help keep everything running smoothly.
I like that.
They produce enzymes that act directly on the epigenome. They need this molecule called NAD to work, though.
NAD, and what's the catch?
Well, NAD levels go down as we age, which could be why we lose that epigenetic information, and, aging sets in.
So could we boost sirtuins somehow, to stay young?
Well, Sinclair's lab has done some really cool stuff. Early on, they showed that increasing sirtuin activity could make yeast live longer.
Yeast?
Yeah, and they also did studies with these mice they called icy meese.
Icy meese?
Yeah, they were genetically engineered to age really fast because of DNA breaks.
Oh, wow.
And their research showed a strong link between DNA repair and sirtuin activity.
So sirtuins could be key to keeping our cells young.
That's what it looks like. But, beyond just our genes, there's the question of what we can do, to influence our lifespan.
Right. Does our lifestyle really matter in the grand scheme of things? Does what we do actually affect how we age?
Oh, it plays a huge role.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing we have the most control over.
Okay, so what can we do? Spill the beans?
Well, there's calorie restriction, or CR, as it's called. It's one of the most studied things in this area.
So eating less? Tell me I don't have to starve myself.
No, not starving. It's about reducing calorie intake, but not to the point of malnutrition.
Okay, that's reassuring.
And studies have shown that it can actually lengthen lifespan in different organisms.
But let's be real, long-term calorie restriction, not exactly appealing.
I get it. But even moderate calorie restriction, or things like intermittent fasting, can have benefits.
Okay, that's more like it. What else? Don't tell me exercise is the fountain of youth, because I'm already lacing up my shoes.
Well, you're not wrong. Exercise is a stressor, in a way, that activates your body's defenses.
Including those longevity genes.
You got it. It's like the idea of hormesis, where a little bit of stress actually makes us stronger.
So pushing our bodies helps them stay younger.
In a sense, yes. Exercise has been shown to lengthen telomeres, which are those protective caps on our chromosomes. Plus, it helps blood vessel growth and boosts mitochondrial function, all signs of youthfulness.
This is all music to my ears. But let's be honest, some people are looking for a more direct approach. What about those pharmaceutical interventions for aging? What's the latest on that front?
Well, we're still in the early stages of really understanding aging, but there are some exciting things on the horizon.
Okay, do tell.
One drug that's creating a lot of buzz is rapamycin.
Rapamycin.
It was originally developed to fight fungal infections, but now it's being studied for its potential to extend lifespan. It basically inhibits the TR pathway,
Which is?
a cellular pathway that's involved in growth and metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
So by slowing down certain cellular processes, it could help us age more slowly.
Fascinating. Any other promising drugs?
Oh yeah, there's metformin, which is usually used to treat diabetes.
Metformin for aging? You're kidding.
Nope. Research suggests it might slow aging and reduce the risk of age-related diseases. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, very cool. Anything else?
There's also this whole new field of senolytics, which target these, well, they're often called zombie cells. They're called senescent cells, officially.
Zombie cells. Tell me more.
Well, they build up as we age, and they cause inflammation and damage to our tissues.
Like little cellular troublemakers.
Basically. And these senolytics, they're designed to get rid of them,
Yeah.
like cleaning out the cellular zombies.
So they could help rejuvenate our tissues.
That's the idea. The first human trial started back in 2018, focusing on conditions like osteoarthritis and glaucoma, where these zombie cells accumulate. We'll need a few more years to really know how effective and safe they are, but the potential is huge.
Wow. This is all incredibly complex, but it's really fascinating to see how it all connects. It's like aging is this intricate dance between our genes, our lifestyle, and even ancient viral remnants.
It really is. And it seems like we're on the verge of some major breakthroughs.
It's definitely an exciting time to be alive. But before we get carried away with all the science, I think it's time to step back and consider the bigger picture. Like, what are the social and ethical implications of extending human lifespans? What kind of world are we creating? That's what we'll explore in part 2 of our deep dive. Stay tuned.